Good morning. I'm Marian LaSalle, and this is my co-host Russ Johns, and we are here at Future Media TV discussing today's topic, which is networking for business development. Now, everybody who knows me knows that business development is very necessary for any kind of business, but networking is my favorite. I'll do them all. I'll do every technique there is out there, but networking is my favorite. How about you, Russ?
I enjoy networking thoroughly. I like networking online. I like networking in person. I like meeting new people. Like Tony just joined. Hey, Tony, how are you this morning?
He's gone.
There's so many things that we can do, and Blab has been one of the platforms that has been really kind of interesting in terms of, what kind of audience, what kind of networking we've done, some of the connections we've made, how we can actually blast it out to, Twitter and now Facebook. They've got that. They're constantly making connections. So I anticipate that we're going to be making new networking introductions over the next few months, right?
A few.
Yeah. It's been really interesting to watch because, some of these, I saw AJ on our friend AJ Max. He's one of our experts at Future Media Association, and he was on with Subi Zimmerman and a couple other people, and having a blast. He
was on what?
What's that?
You said you saw him, but you didn't say where you saw him.
On Blab.
Oh, on Blab. Okay.
Yeah, he was on a Blab session last night.
Okay.
And so we're just kind of clicking along here, just collecting people and making friends. And, Chris has been on here. I know Chris is probably getting really close to doing his presentation here shortly. So Chris Murray from, 3D animation fame. And there's a lot of people that we've been connecting with. So we got another session later today that with Ted Lyman, right?
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. So let's talk about some of the techniques that you can use for networking, for business development, of course. Now, networking doesn't have to be associated with business, but that is a really great way to network. And it doesn't matter if you have a job or if you're in business for yourself, a contractor, you have your own company. It really doesn't matter. Networking comes in handy because when you need something, you really should ask for help. And who are you going to help if you haven't been networking and building up your community? So your community, like I said, doesn't have to be necessarily attached to a business, but it is a fantastic way to do that. So how would you go about going out and networking? You can't do it in your house, or can you?
Well, we have
Exactly.
done it in the house.
We are doing it right now. We're doing right here on Blab. How many people have you met just here online, sitting in your home, that now if you meet them in person, you're going to hug because you're best friends?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Online. In fact, you remember me telling you the story that I went to a networking event and the speaker came up and hugged me because we were connected online. She was down from Chicago, never met her before. And she comes up to me and says, "Russ, how are you?" And it's like, who is this lady?
Hey, I like it, but who are you?
Well, it was Beth. So here's a card right here, Beth.
Awesome.
Great speaker, great person, and it was so kind of her to just come up and greet me like that, and have somebody that from an online presence that you can actually connect with in person when you get the chance to meet. And networking really, Marian, is about just having that conversation and understanding what people need. You don't need to go in and say, buy my stuff. You just need to go in and say, here's some things that you need to understand what their passions are, what their, buttons are. And, we've learned a lot about each other over networking, and, over the years, and some of the things that we never thought we would know about each other in a casual conversation. And that's the beauty of networking is you actually get to know the person,
Exactly.
And it's
So
really
last night, I have to tell you this really cool story. So Russ and I, we have a business besides what we do here on Future Media Association, and it's called Full Service Technology. And one of our products is putting a TV show on your website. So last night, I just happened to be on a networking blab and was discussing the idea of how great it is to have your search engine optimization is just blowing up by having all of that SEO right on your website, from the things that people are talking about in the chat room. Everything is on your website. And because we use WordPress, we can actually have a conversation with Google. It's pretty cool. And so I'm talking and I'm networking with all these people online.
Right.
And as soon as that blab was over, I got a phone call from a lady in New York. I mean, within seconds, as soon as we shut the blab down, she felt like she knew me, Russ. She felt like I could trust you. I can see you. I understand, and because I had friends that I was networking with, she knew I wasn't some weird person no one's ever heard of. It's like you take your friends with you, right, when you're doing networking.
Exactly. Well,
so
it's easy access with video.
I'm vetting you, you're vetting me, and I have this really cool networking trick. It's not a bad trick, and it's not a black hat or blue hat or a gray hat. It really truly is a fantastic way to meet people. It just sounds a little weird. So you go into a networking event. Now this is a live event. And you go in together with your friend or a business associate, somebody that you really trust, somebody that you like their business dealings. Okay. And you go in different directions and you meet different people. Well, as soon as you're finished with your conversation, you make your way over to the other person. And the other person stops the conversation and says, "Oh, I want you to meet my friend who does this." And then you introduce to, and what you're doing is allowing that new person to meet that friend of yours, and you automatically have a trust factor. So then you leave them and you go off and do the same, and they come over to you and you do the same thing. And it's like
networking with a friend.
It's called tag networking. Tag team. That's right.
Like wrestling, right?
Tag team networking. That's right. It's pretty
awesome.
Cool.
That is awesome. And probably instinctively, we've done that before at other events.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You and I have done that, and I'm sure that you've done it with Louise and, other people that are networking. Well, Louise is a big networker from way back. So
the queen of networking.
Yeah, the queen of networking. So
if you don't know Louise, her name is Louise Dewey. She's the queen of networking, and she's very talented and gives classes and workshops on techniques that work. And that's just one of them. I met her at a networking event. I met you at a networking event.
That's true.
All of my friends I've met.
Almost everyone you probably met at a networking event.
It's
now
true.
that I think about it, let's see.
It's true. Yeah.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to Eric and Susan joining us this morning. It's awesome to see new faces in the room, and here Mary and I are.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Eric.
And we're here talking about networking for business development, and we're not sure if you want to drop a comment in there and mention if you network or you have networked in the past, or you have questions about networking. We'd love to have you engage in our conversation here.
We also have an open seat if you'd like to come on in and talk with us. We
love to do this, and
we're networkers from way back. We're like hippies. We've been doing it for so long, and we absolutely love it, don't we?
Absolutely, it's a blast. And one of the things that I like to do is, somebody mentioned Meetup the other day. We were talking about doing something on Meetup, and Meetup's a great place to just go and look at some of the events that are happening around your area and some of the events that are taking place. And as much as we enjoy and appreciate yeah, Susan, as much as we appreciate online networking, social networking, and all of the digital age, it is really refreshing and kind of gives you a new perspective when you actually go to a networking event and meet people live, in person, have a conversation, and discover some of the aspects about what they're doing and why they're doing it, and just kind of, it changes your perspective. So it gives you a little stronger evidence on what you're doing online. So it's really nice to be able to do that.
I love networking so much that I think about it. There's not enough hours in the day.
No.
There's just not. So tell me, Russ, what is your favorite type of networking? Is it online or in person, or do you have a combination?
I like the combination. I like, me, I'm a people person. I like getting out and meeting people and discovering what they like. I really like this whole idea of, you meet somebody in a business that you have no understanding of, and you think, wow, I've never met a person that does that. And you think, I want to ask them questions. Well, how did you get started in that? How did you learn how to do this skill? What kind of brought you to the conclusion that this is what you wanted to do? So I like discovering new businesses. I like discovering new opinions about industry and some of the things that are happening in the world around me that you don't even think about.
Oh, Russ, I have something I'm just eager to talk about.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so I love networking so much that I even started, well, I haven't started actually tomorrow will be my first day, but I am so excited. I get to drive, or I guess ride with Uber and all the cool and interesting people that I'm going to meet. Now, not all of them are going to be business people. They're all going to be different, ages and types. But I am so excited that I get to network with all these new people that I would have never met any other way. How cool is that? My friend called me the other day. You remember Judy Blake, and she goes, Marian, why are you driving for Uber? You have a business. You don't have time. You don't need, I was like, the networking. I swear, it's the networking. I'm so excited.
And here's the thing, we get stuck in our groove and things like that, just step outside of the box. That's why volunteering is so, I think, and it's so important for so many people is,
that's right.
Okay, to get outside your normal everyday activity and go do something that's different energizes you and allows you to meet new people, new friends, new environments. And I've been kind of searching for something like that and thinking, okay, well, how, where would I want to go? What would I want to do? And
oh, well, you know what? You can even network for a husband that way, or in your case, a wife.
Yeah,
but
I need a wife, not a husband.
I know. Well,
I don't need a wife.
Right, exactly.
It would be nice to have somebody around that I could go out with and do something.
Exactly. Yes. So yes, I do know people. I won't mention any names where they actually literally went to volunteer where they knew rich men were going to be, and that's where they found their husband. So it works no matter what it is you want. Oh, good. Susan wants to come in.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Hi.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, Susan.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
So tell us what you're doing today.
Well, I'm actually located in Holland, so it's actually afternoon. So I'm having an afternoon tea, having a break. So it's nice having a blab chat now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. I think I listened to one of your previous blab before, and you both do video, and I do video, so I was kind of interested. And then you're talking about networking, and it's something I really haven't done in the last over 6 months. And I think it's because I think I kind of went through a transition with my business and trying to find, what I really do. And I felt like I would meet people and then I'd be like, couldn't even say what I was doing myself. So, yeah, but I need to get back into it.
It's interesting. And you probably, like every other, everyone that gets into business and starts doing something you're passionate about, if you're doing a lot of video, it probably takes you a little while to kind of get the story and the message and comfortable with what you're doing and putting it out there and saying, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And when you're in a room, you kind of, at least for myself, I don't know, everybody's different. Marion just puts it out there and I'm like, well, I can do this, or I can do that. I can do this. And it's really, I think I've learned over the years that it's really important just to say, like in one sentence, if you can explain it in one sentence, what you do and who you help, it's really key.
Yeah, I actually just did I'm going through these sort of steps. I need to sort of clear my message in that. And I asked a few friends, like, what's your feedback? Like my clients, and they're like friends as well. Like, what do you know, how could you describe me and how would you introduce me to a networking event? And that's a great question. And then some of them answered quite clearly, and a couple of them really answered in a way that, yeah, Susan does this and that and the other, and that it was so all over the place in a way that I thought she can't really be clear on what I do, because she knows I do quite a bit, because I am a creative. So I help people with video, but I also help people with social media. Yeah. And I do, and I've created events as well. So, and then I thought, yeah, but if someone meets me for the first time, they're like, yeah, I'm not too sure, so I don't need to go to you for next time if I need something, because they don't know themselves.
So what are you passionate about when you go out and you meet new people? What do you love to share about yourself that is interesting that most people wouldn't know?
I think, well,
since
my background, see, my background's on video, and that's what I studied, that's what I love. But I also love social media, and I love connecting with people. And last year I do volunteer work at a local film, what do you call it, film theater.
Oh, okay.
I actually started doing it because I needed to pick up Dutch, so it was a good place to do that. And because I love film, so another question was like, you know, what can you talk about for hours in a room? And I realized that film is something I can just talk forever. But it's not something it's not something I do for work. But last year I put together the first Australian Film Festival here in Holland. So then, so I blend all these things together, and it's mainly creativity, visual communications is what I say to people. Yeah.
You know what? This is a great opportunity for all of us, since we all do video.
Yeah.
We could actually take our video camera, whether it's our telephone or a really nice camera like Russ has, and go around and ask people that know us, say, could you tell me how you would introduce me to a stranger, and then record them, and you could use that for your promos.
Like a sizzle reel.
Yeah, sizzle reel. There you go. I love that.
That would be a fun experiment.
It would.
Yeah.
Boy, Russ, I can't imagine what they would say. Well, Russ Johns, Google him.
Or you could also just ask friends who are not clients, but just say something. What if you could describe me in one word? What would you say? That would be nice to see how people see you, and then you create a video of all that.
Like a great project. I wanted to pick up on something you said though, Susan. You said you started the first Australian
film festival here.
I brought the festival in Dutch.
No, it's the first. Well, because my background's I'm originally from Australia.
Okay.
But I've been living here for a long time, and since I work at the film, it's like it's run by volunteers. There's about 80 people who work there, so everyone's fully passionate about film there. And I wanted to bring the first Australian Film Festival to the Netherlands, so there wasn't such an event like that here in Holland. So that was it was a big project, and it was really fantastic, and that also developed my skills of bringing people together and creating an event.
Well, congratulations for doing an event like that. That's a fabulous networking event. And Marion, maybe you can talk to this a little bit, and Susan, I want your thoughts on this, because there are two kinds of networking events. One where it's focused on the subject, like the video. You know, you have a film festival in the Netherlands. That's going to be drawing people that are really focused on a subject, right?
Yeah.
And then there are other kinds of events that are focused on like business, where it's a broader reach. You know, the subjects are more diverse, and there's a lot of different people that might show up for something like that, like a trade show or maybe a I don't know, some other event. You know, I'm thinking about music. I'm thinking about film is more of a social cause, or a subject. And then, like, we network a lot, Marion, in business. So you meet a lot of different industries. Is there any thoughts about which one you prefer, or what you get out of each one, or what kind of information?
Well, one question.
Sure.
Yeah, ask us one question. So, because that was 4
What
or
do you
5.
notice in the difference between a subject-focused networking event and a business-focused networking event?
I think from what you said, one thing I would answer to all that, it would be you kind of feel like you need to know what for what reason you're going to that workshop, to that networking event, because it's very different from one to the other. Because if I'm at the Australian Film Festival, I was networking in a different way. I was trying to think of for next year, or people might want to be interested to help us out, like sponsors and that. And I wasn't even there networking for what I do necessarily. And whereas I go to another networking events where business people, then that's all I talk about, and I'm not really talking about maybe a project I'm working on, because it's not relatable to them.
Okay.
So
I agree. There's different things that I go to, and I am in networking at all times, whether it's a volunteer or a business or a subject matter conference. I find that if it's a subject matter conference where I'm supposed to be in training or learning, I don't do as much networking, except for at the breaks, like at lunch or something. So I do like both. I really like just general networking, where you could just walk up to people, or speed networking, that type of thing. But I also like to go to events where we just meet, at lunch or on a break.
So
Cool.
I put in the chat window here, and I think the key takeaway from my long-winded question was discover your why, the reason you're there. Define it when you go.
Yes. Very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Very cool. What other things have you discovered along the way for networking? What's the biggest thing in the last few years that you've noticed that has changed or developed over time?
I think
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm someone who's very bubbly and can be very, happy to chat to people, but I'm also someone who can be an introvert and really need to sit back in the room, just let things go. So I really need to kind of be in that. Depends on I really go in with how I'm feeling. That's how I go to the networking event. So sometimes I'm really like ready to meet so many people and I'm moving around the room, and other times I'm just really like, just want to meet one person or read what another person, get really more in-depth conversations. So that's what I've discovered lately, that I'm better off doing that than before. I would try and talk to everyone and I would get so intimidated and I'd get nervous, and then I would find myself in the, like not being able to hold a conversation or just trying too much, that it made me uncomfortable. And I think it wasn't naturally who I am. So I think learning who you are, the way, because everyone networks in a different way.
Or a different way every day, it's like changing constantly. Yeah. Well, yeah. I know that I've changed over the years networking, and, as I have evolved and changed and focused on different subjects, you know, because it's really, well, it's just, I just enjoy it. So have you always been in video, Susan?
Since 2003, which is a long time. I have, and I was working in advertising and a bit more the production side. But I think in the last 3 years ago, I think it would have been 5 years ago, I really stopped with video. I really got into social media. And then in the last 2 years, I really got back into it. And right now I actually, one of the projects I just did, that's something I could share. I created a documentary for a client. She's just went through breast cancer, and she wanted to tell her story, but she wanted to create a project and wasn't sure what to do. So we ended up doing a video for it, and it's a documentary. It's still not up online yet. It's a 10-minute sort of documentary. Sort of, we're going through her experience, but she got a tattoo afterwards because she got a I forgot the word, when you what's the word when you I forgot the word. Anyway, she doesn't have a nipple obviously now, so she got a tattooed nipple on her. For her it was like a
reconstruction
to find, thanks the word, to finalize it for her was to have a tattoo, and that, so we created a video with that, and that was, for me, that really sank into like, oh, I really love sharing other people's stories. Like, I don't necessarily always need to be in front of the camera. I'm more comfortable being behind the camera, to be honest. So
Most people are. Most people are.
So I'm kind of competing with myself of like being in front and then behind the camera.
Most people are very nervous when that little green light goes on.
Yeah.
Russ and I don't know what happened to us. We actually enjoy it. So any chance that there's a video or a picture being taken, we're like, yeah, hey.
Sure, we'll be out there. No fear. Marion, what about, after you network, I've been really playing with this idea, and I've tested it a couple of times, and I don't know, Susan, if you've had this experience. After you network with somebody, on the follow-up, I thought about putting a small video together and say, hey, thank you. It was great to meet you. And, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to get to know you better. And put a short video together and then send that to them.
An individual one or a general video?
A
personalized?
Yeah, personalized one.
Oh my goodness, you are ambitious, dude.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, there's some automation practices. Chelsea wants to come in.
Could you not do that through Twitter? Like, because Twitter obviously can automatically, that would be the easiest way, right?
Just you can put up your camera and say, hey, great to meet you. Thanks. I just thought, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's great.
Hey, good morning.
Good afternoon over here in Italy. Hello, everybody.
Now, I see lots of names here, and I'm not really sure what to call you.
I'm Nazim, and my wife's Betty.
Okay, Nazim.
So because Casa Chiesa is it's a hobby. It's an Italian blog that we do, and we talk about our love for Italy. But it used to be Casa Chiesa, and everybody used to say, can you put some names on? Because we're not going to, you might be a troll. And I'm like, okay. I'm Nazim, and she's Betty. Anyway, great conversation. I really love this. You're all coming from the world of video, right? From what I gather. How do you guys, my question is, all this live streaming stuff that's happening, Periscope, Meerkat, Blab, is it something that complements what one does as a video producer, video maker? Or is there different directions that it's more tied into social media and telling a story?
Oh,
Susan,
that's a hard one.
I automatically say both. I mean, I think the two of you have more experience because you've been having your own blab shops, but I think it's both because it's a good way to get your name out. A good way. I'm finding it a good place to practice getting in front of the camera.
Right. Yeah, there's a shot. Yeah. Well, you were mentioning that before that you're more an introvert, but I was going to ask also, what do you think about Blab as a vehicle also for meeting and collaborating with people? Because at the end of the day, this networking for business development is quite interesting because, you know, you're getting common topics around business development and how people can, you know, try to promote what they do or whatever their line of work is.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big subject that you're asking about here. I love Blab and all live streaming, Periscope, and the difference for me is it's open to the general public. Anybody can come into this room and watch us privately. They can be, you know, they don't even have to log in. They can just kind of lurk from the
from whatever other from the web
or they can watch us on the side. But other video that we do is private. So like we'll use Zoom, or like Russ, he has a very nice video camera that he takes with him everywhere we go. So he could do Media Geeks on the street and ask questions or interview people or whatever he wants to do. So I think Blab is a remarkable new technology that people can take advantage of no matter what their tech level is. Like, as long as they have a camera on their laptop, or they can, you know, adjust something on top of their computer, they're online sharing video.
Right. It's a good point you bring up in the sense that coming from the Google Plus world and Hangouts and all that.
Sure.
We used to do a lot of Hangouts to promote Kazakezi, and then all my friends would come in and look at them, the video people, the video guys who do professional video. And they would like, oh, the quality, man, I can't deal with this. This is no good. And I kept saying, it's not, don't worry about the quality. Think about the content. Think about the story. But there, you know, and that's why there's that line with video people. And I think Suzanne and also Russ, I gather, you guys are dealing with video at a different type of level than the amateurist level that somebody like me and my wife could be doing. So I think what's happening is that these platforms are getting opened to the, you know, regular people who don't do video editing and video at professional levels or come from that kind of world. So that's what I find so fascinating about all this, in the sense that, like,
Russ,
okay,
you have to talk. You know,
Yeah.
you have to respond.
And here's my take on it. In this is only my opinion. This is not you know, the opinion of the show or anything like that. The caveat is that we are now living in, and I'm really passionate about, we are living in the information age where it's you know, it's humanity 2.0. It's where conversations like this can take place. This closeness can exist, and this communication it's about the connection and the communication in this format. And we've already seen that with, you know, the tool in your hand can produce some amazing results in terms of video production and the ability to share a story. And ultimately, if you can have a quality story, I think that's going to supersede the production elements. You know, you can say, okay, he could have shot that with a better lens, you know, the backlight, the depth of field, all of these things. That's technology, and that's the skill that goes into the filmmaking industry. And however, I think that there are people still drawn to the fact that a good quality story can be told with very simple tools. And if you take and you develop a quality story and you share that with others, you will be people will be drawn to that. And that's what really is important. I think, you know, when you're telling stories about your kids, it's not the quality of the video or the light setup or thing. It's the essence of what your kids are bringing to life. You know, it's the story about what they're doing at that point in time that is important. And so it's really important to understand the why.
Yeah, gotcha.
Are you focused on the production, or are you focused on the story?
Well, there you go. Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
Love it. That was my question. I'm going to step out. I might let Jed. I see Jed's in the audience, which is a good friend. Yeah, we'll bring him in. Very nice meeting everybody.
Nice to meet you too.
Take care.
I'm going to interrupt for just a second.
What's that?
I'm going to interrupt for just a second, please.
Okay.
I'm Marion LaSalle. This is my co-host, Russ Johns. We're from the Future Media Association, and today's show is 30 minutes. We're on every Tuesday and Thursday, so we're going to close out today. We wish you well. We want you to come back and see us again every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 Central Time. Please join us. Also, come to the futuremediaassociation.com so you can see our other events that we're having. If you're an expert, we want to talk to you. If you're somebody who wants to learn about technology and the media, please let us know. We'd be happy to connect with you and give you what you need. So until next time, we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.